How much can real estate investors make? I literally get this question every single day. There is so much information out there of people telling you that you will lose all of your money and some people saying that you will make billions of dollars. Well, in this video, I'm going to share with you the true secrets on how much money real estate investors actually make doing different things and how you can get started today. Let's go.
Noel. Yeah, she can fix that. If you gotta get it done, all you need to do it better. Well, she can fix that. Yeah, she can fix that. Investment to get back, trying to get a big stack. She can fix that. Let's fix that.
In this video, I'm going to share with you 3 major things that real estate investors do to get a paycheck. I'm also going to share with you the easiest way that you can get paid as a real estate investor with little to no experience. And I'm going to share with you my big secret on how you can get your first deal in less than 30 days. As a real estate investor, there are so many different things that you can do to start making money. One of the easiest things that most people don't realize that they can do is start wholesaling real estate. Wholesaling real estate is when you find someone that is in distress, maybe they're behind on their mortgage payments, maybe they're in divorce or bankruptcy or something to that effect, and you get that person under contract and you assign that contract to someone else for a fee, usually an investor that's going to fix and flip the property. I did not even know this existed when I first started investing in real estate. I literally started flipping houses with a full-time job and I was making money. Well, when the market crashed in 2007 and 2008, I lost everything. I ended up in my parents' basement, broke, bankrupt, with bad credit, and pregnant with my 3rd kid. I literally was a disaster. But I started going to different classes, different seminars, different courses, and I learned this technique of wholesaling. I was able to do this all with bad credit and no money, and it taught me a very valuable lesson on how to market to people with property problems and why it was so important as a real estate investor to find distressed properties. The real money in real estate investing is selling your properties off for large lump sums of money. I'll explain that in just a second. However, until you get to that point, if maybe you're starting right now like me with bad credit and no money and things like that when I first started, well, you can start wholesaling, start getting lump sums of cash, and then you can up-level yourself and start doing more advanced techniques like fixing and flipping, investing in apartment buildings, even commercial real estate and things like that that I do today. But the great thing about real estate investing is that you can start from wherever you are. So let's get into it. If you start wholesaling like I did when I had bad credit and no money, on average, you will make about $5,000 per deal. In some cases, you'll make even more. In fact, I've paid wholesalers up to $26,000 for a wholesale deal, and I myself have made over $20,000 wholesaling properties with just one deal. And I've even taken a little bit less, sometimes only $3,000 or $4,000, but again, on average, it's $5,000. Let me explain. The reason why wholesalers are paid just that amount of money is because they have very little risk. You will just market to people with property problems. Either you're going to put out signs, you're going to put out billboards, you're going to do things on the internet where people will find your website and saying that you will buy homes for cash and things like that. So you will spend just a little bit of money on the marketing, and then you will flip those contracts to an investor who will usually fix and flip the property or make that property one of their rental properties. So you don't really have very much risk because you do not have to actually buy the home. You don't have to get approved for financing through any banks or any lenders. You don't have to get a mortgage. You really just have to market to people, get them under contract, and then assign those contracts for a fee. This is why it is a really great place to start as a real estate investor, and that is why you only make about $5,000 per deal. But once you kind of master wholesaling, you can easily get into fixing and flipping, because the key to fixing and flipping is, again, finding properties at a discount, not necessarily the renovation and the rehab like we see on TV. Let me explain. When it comes to fixing and flipping, the average profit will be about $65,000. Literally, I looked this up, and last year it was $65,900. And this is because you are going to be buying a property that is undervalued. You're going to find someone, again, that's having an issue and get the property at a discount. You're going to renovate the property, which means you're going to do what's called forced appreciation, where You are actually renovating it to bring the value up. Maybe you'll paint the home, maybe you'll put new flooring in, maybe you'll update the appliances. In some cases, it is not like television. Literally on TV, they're always just talking about the design of the property. But in most cases with a true fix and flip, you're really just making the property, bringing the property up in value so that it matches the homes in the area and it is something that someone would want to buy in the retail market. So in many cases, it is not like television where it's all about the design and granite countertops and stainless steel appliances. In many cases, I have fixed and flipped a home and all I did was paint and do flooring. In some cases, you may have to do all new electrical. You may have to put a new roof on it. It really depends on the property itself. However, you are using a concept called forced appreciation because the property will go up in value due to the renovations that you do. And this is why you will make more money. However, you will take more risk. As I mentioned before, with wholesaling, you did not have to get a mortgage. You did not have to do any renovations. You literally just put the person under contract and assign the contract for a fee. Well, with fixing and flipping, you are taking more risk. You're probably going to have to get a hard money loan in order to acquire the property. You're going to have the risk during the renovation because, again, once you start renovating a property, you may come where there's more appliances needed, or there's maybe the plumbing is worse than you thought, or maybe when you pull the sheetrock down, there's something that you did not know about, and you could literally spend more money. So because you are taking a higher risk, you usually make more money. So again, on average, the fix and flip profit is about $65,000, but again, you took more risk in order to get that profit. So let's talk about the next thing and how much investors make with rental properties, because again, this is probably where you want to go with your real estate investing. Rental properties is actually what turned me from living in my parents' basement to a multi-millionaire. Real estate goes up in value over time, generally speaking. In fact, more millionaires have been made in real estate than all industrial investments combined. The reason is appreciation. Real estate just generally goes up in value over time, and it's usually a hedge against inflation because if you have rental properties, your rents will also increase as inflation increases. I won't nerd out and get into all of that stuff here, but let me quickly explain. When you have rental properties, you can do two different types of rental properties. You can do long-term tenants, where you put a tenant in there, unfurnished, vacant property, you rent it out for a year, and you will get maybe about $300 per month in cash flow. But more importantly, the property will be going up in value over time, so you can sell the property in 2 or 3 years and usually walk away with over $100,000. Or you can do what we call short-term rentals, and that is what I'm heavily involved in now that I'm living in Florida. You can actually put your properties on sites like Airbnb, HomeAway, Expedia, and all of these short-term rental property sites, and you will make even more money. On average, you will make about $1,000 to $1,500 per month per property, and you get the benefit of the property going up in value over time, the same way that you did with long-term investments. So you can make a higher cash flow, and you can still sell the property after 2 or 3 years and walk away with at least $100,000. This is what I do now, and I've been able to create portfolios, sometimes over 40 properties, and I'm able to sell 2, 3, 5 properties per year and make over $1 million. Literally, this is how you will become successful in real estate. And again, you can start off with homes like townhomes, single-family residences, condos, and then after you sell those properties, you literally can move into multifamily, start getting small apartment buildings, and then even larger apartment buildings, hotels, commercial real estate, or whatever it is that your heart desires. But literally, as a real estate investor, you can start off with little to no money and start making money and grow as you grow in knowledge. That is why this is one of the best ways to become a millionaire and why most people pick real estate to become a millionaire. I want you to get all 4 of my books absolutely free because we are almost sold out, and you can get these absolutely free. You just cover the shipping. Go to noellsbookoffer.com and get all 4 of my books shipped directly to you, and you can start learning because leaders are readers. Literally, my book, Real Estate Millionaire Secrets, has helped hundreds of people start from zero and go to real estate investor all in one book. It literally has templates, checklists, and all different types of things to help you get started in real estate, and it has all the secrets that I use to get out of my parents' basement to become a real estate millionaire. You'll also get my other books that I have used to create even more income for myself by using short-term rentals, rental cars, and using business credit and business funding. Again, you can get all 4 of these books at noellsbookoffer.com right now, and we will ship them to you immediately. Again, that's Noelle's Book Offer, Noelle with an S, book, BOOKOFFER.com, because I just want you to have all of the tools, all of the resources, and all of the knowledge that you need to be successful. This is Noelle. To your success.